It's 11 o'clock. You're in 3rd grade. I want everyone to close their eyes. Close your eyes with me. It's 11 o'clock. You've been thinking about lunch for hours. You're in the 3rd grade. Your mom bought you a Lunchable, even though it's kind of a rare thing. And you're just sitting there praying, hoping to God that you picked out the right Lunchable. Now open them. And remember, you're an adult now. Lunchables aren't that expensive. And you can buy 8 of them and figure out which one's the best. Which one do you want to take on a field trip with you as an adult? Because, you know, I have my priorities, right? Do you? That's what we're gonna do today. Bracket style. First round, Lunchable Bracket. Got the wild cards. The full one, we got the half one. Dunkables. Chicken poppers, not those kind of poppers, with ranch and ketchup style dip. Versus Lunchable Upload. I don't know what that means, but it's ham and American sub. We're gonna start with the submarine sandwich. I got the Kool-Aid. This is just gonna be a sip on. This is not going into the judgment, because I think it's definitely unfair going up against the chicken poppers. We're just going off of the straight sandwich here. Let's crack into this sub. Got our sandwich and our ham and cheese. Get our sub loaf open. Take the mayo. This is the more gourmet Lunchable. This is like 5 stars when it comes to playground delicacies. Open our ham and cheese. Smells like Lunchable ham, that's for sure. This is the Italian starter kit. Just lunch meat and cheese, you dirty little Guidos. Honestly, I'm not seeing enough cheese here, but hey, we're gonna let the bracket decide still. We'll see. Fold it over. That's our Lunchable submarine sandwich. And that's going up against the Dunkings, the Dunkums, the chicken tenders. Meager chicken tenders. They smell crazy. This is a simple one. The chicken nugget one's pretty simple, if I'm being honest. They don't make the chicken ones in the regular Lunchables anymore, so I had to get the dunkable ones. We're gonna give this sandwich a bite. I'm just tasting bread, if we're being honest. It's awfully bready. It's all right, though. I'm not knocking it. The bread's kind of Hawaiian rolly, which is a nice touch. Got a sweetness. We gotta take a sip of our Kool-Aid, wash everything down. Now we're gonna compare the sandwich to the nugget. Kind of a gross texture, and dip it in the ranch. Tastes like Hidden Valley, the ketchup flavored dipping sauce. You know, this is a tough first round. I don't know if either of these should be in this bracket necessarily. In this round, we're just taking into consideration the basics. Give another bite to the... Again, really just tasting the bread on that. Give one more bite into these nuggets. Those kind of taste like nothing too. Not a lot of flavors going on here. But I do think on the playground, at least, if we're comparing, if we're looking at the demographics, right? You're looking at the competition. It's lunchtime. Everyone's pulling out what they brought. You're pulling the chicken nuggets out, kids are looking at you like, damn, he really got that until someone pulls out the full unload. And I know that I said I wasn't gonna talk about the mixins, the fixins and mixins here, but it's hard to ignore. White cheddar Cheez-Its. Are you kidding me? The best kind of Cheez-Its. Next to the Tabasco kind. Amazing. Fruit roll-ups, sour. I think I'm gonna have to give this one to the sandwich. So chicken nuggets, as much as you were my favorite as a young boy, I just don't know if you hold up quite to where I want them now. Submarine sandwich, you're moving on. Next round, we're getting into classics. Pepperoni pizza. Nachos with queso and salsa. Peel these Johns open. In my day, the pizza Lunchable was the creme de la creme of the Lunchable world. The nachos, I was never that big of a fan of, to be honest. The best part about the pizza is the assembly process. Rip the packaging open. Rip the sauce open, excuse me. The most difficult part was rationing, in my honest opinion. Because you didn't want to load up the first one with all the cheese and all the pepperoni just for you to end up not having any for the last pizza. So it was like a game of trying to not overdo it on the first or second pizza. It taught you scarcity as a young boy. Like, how many slices of pepperoni we got here? About 3 per pizza, that's what we're looking for. Which, the pepperoni to pizza ratio on this one, unbelievable. Now to the nachos. No preparation. Not as much fun, but you do get a nice variety. You dig? Give these a try. The cheese tastes as fake as ever, but there's something kind of beautiful about that. Now let's get into this salsa. Tastes like a baseball game, like a little league baseball game. Fantastic. Try this pizza. Something about that. Just overly sweet sauce, not enough cheese, just the least flavorful pepperoni you've ever had. It's incredible. Nachos, this is a tough contestant though. The size of these chips, very fun. They're so small, you get a ton of them, takes you forever to eat this. That's nice. In theory, but when you realize the faster you eat lunch, the more recess you get, out of here. I do actually really enjoy this salsa though. There's something just so beautiful about the taste of a salsa so chocked full of preservatives that you can't even really taste what it's trying to be originally, where it just kind of tastes like tomato byproduct. You might as well be dipping chips in ketchup, but there's something very nostalgic about that, if I will. The cheese, leaving something to be desired. You know, it's good. It's very salty. But we go back to the pizza. There was something so magical as an elementary school student of being able to assemble your own pizza at lunch. I just think it's going to be a tough one to beat, and I don't know if these nachos are the ones that are going to do it. So as much as I love this salsa, for the fact that it's going to take you a while to eat, cutting into your recess time, and just the sheer playability factor with the pizza, I just don't know if there's any competition here. So nachos, as much as I love you, the pizza's got to move on. It's just the way it's got to be. Third battle of the first round. Got two similar guys. Bologna, an American, versus turkey, an American. These ones come with cookies. Let's tear into these. This is the turkey, I believe. Bologna. The sheer cookie to cheese ratio going on in these is crazy. Like, look at all this room that they did. Whatever. That's besides the point. This is everyone's first introduction to charcuterie. It's a beautiful thing. Let's dig in here. One slice of bologna, one slice of American. Yeah, I don't know if any of you bought Lunchables recently. The majority of Lunchables now, they're not like fun little activity things. They're just like cheese and crackers, which might have been what they were always, but there were like 4 or 5 different types of just cheese and crackers. So I got 3 of them on this bracket, which is incredibly lame. There's our bologna and cheese little cracker charcuterie. Get this turkey on there, get a slice of cheese. Low key, I do kind of think that the best American cheese I've ever had is in a Lunchable. Don't at me. Give a taste of this bologna. It's nice, tastes like bologna. None of the Lunchables really taste like what they're trying to be. Cause like, I bet this turkey's gonna taste very similar. I don't know. That turkey's coming through a lot more than I thought it was gonna. Go back to the bologna. Not as much flavor coming out of bologna. Let's go back to the turkey. Next, we're gonna have to examine the cookie. Chips Ahoy knockoff. Incredible. Versus the Oreo knockoff. I think that if we're looking at this from like a lunch perspective, the bologna, worse entree, significantly. But when it comes to the dessert aspect, this chocolate chip cookie, eating 2 of those is all I need. Honest to God, comes with 2 of them, perfect amount. Now when it comes to the turkey, you know, you got 2 Oreos. Call me big backed, call me fat, I don't care. You need at least 3 to 4 Oreos. It's coming up short, definitely the bologna takes the cake when it comes to the dessert aspect, but the turkey is just far superior in almost every way. And despite its shortcoming, I think I'm gonna have to give this one to the turkey, unfortunately. Turkey and cheese is moving on. Bologna, you fought hard. Make a double stack here. Say goodbye. Bologna, you fought hard. But you still kind of just taste like nothing. Turkey, you're moving on. This baby ass video. Grown man sitting in my own apartment, reviewing Lunchables. This is embarrassing. All right, next round. Final battle of the first round. Spicy nachos, ham and cheese. Tough battle. Let's crack into these. With that, it appears that the only thing spicy about these nachos is the chips, ham and cheese. What are we looking at? More of the same with the cheese and crackers, as to be expected. The only difference, vanilla Oreos. I'll save my judgment. So let's make our little charcuterie board, crack a ham, crack a cheese on there. These are the 2 contestants. Let's dig into these spicy little nachos. First, we're gonna go into the salsa. They're not spicy. Cheese is good still. They basically have a hot Cheeto dusting on top of them. Not terrible. Let's try this ham and cheese. Ham is the worst lunch meat. Still kind of just tastes like nothing. All I'm getting is the cracker there, which I'm not saying is bad. The Lunchables actually have fantastic crackers. Dig back in, spicy nachos. You know, for the loud girl in class who, you know, is always eating like Chester's hot fries or some shit. Like, this is the Chester's hot fries, wearing pajamas outside of the house, hair in a bun, starter pack. Like, this is how you start your journey to becoming a hot Cheeto girl. Pretty good, though. I like those. Grab another one of these. Just give it a full one. Ham's coming through slimy, like all ham. Vanilla cream cookies, so yes, knock off vanilla Oreos. Given the option, I'm going with regular Oreos every day. And although I do think that the ham and cheese is more complete of a meal because it comes with the cookies, the extra flavor on the spicy nachos is just, it's like the first really flavorful thing coming from a Lunchable I think I've ever had. And kind of the salsa is very sweet, and it balances it out. You know, you got the spiciness and the sweetness, and there's no competition between these two. Ham and cheese, hate to break it to you, you're out. Spicy nachos, you're moving on to the second round. First battle of the second round, pepperoni pizza, ham and cheese sandwich. This is a difficult one. You got an activity with both of these that doesn't take too much time to eat like the nachos. So let's assemble a pizza just so we're even here and do it the standard way. Everyone knows what we're doing already. This is the second pizza, so you can use a little more sauce. You know how much you're gonna need. A little bit of cheese. My fingers are too big for this. I'm not a baby anymore, and maybe I should be eating a real fucking lunch instead of making a damn video about Lunchables. This is embarrassing. Grab some 3 pepperonis, yet again. 1, 2, 3. Assembled pizza. Dig into our little sando. Again, it really just tastes like Hawaiian. It did come with a nice drink. I missed the Capri Suns. That was the It's not terrible. Go into the pizza. God damn, nothing better. You don't get a dessert unless you get the big one. That is a knock against this. This, you get your fruit roll-up, you get your Cheez-Its, you get a drink, dig into this fruit roll-up. My is gonna be crazy later. I can already tell. No tongue tattoos on this fruit roll-up though. That is unacceptable. What is the point of a fruit roll-up if it doesn't have a tongue tattoo? Look at that, there's not a single tongue tattoo on here. God damn, our fruit roll-up is good. I've had one of those in forever. Go back to the pizza. This is an easy dub for the pizza. Tastes better. It's more fun. You know, making 3 individual pizzas versus making 1 sandwich, not even near close to making 3 separate pizzas. While simultaneously, it doesn't take too long. You're not cutting into your damn recess by making 3 separate pizzas. They're not big enough to do that. And for that, I think this is an easy dub for the pizza. I don't make the rules. I do, but easy dub. Pizza, you're moving on. Sub sandwich, in the box with you. Second battle of the second round. Spicy nachos, the up-and-comer. New guy. Wasn't around when I was a wee boy, but things are heating up with him. Turkey and cheese crackers, charcuterie board. Been around the league a long time. Generational player, if you will. Let's make this sandwich. One fun thing you can do with these. See how high you can stack them. That was the beauty. You're on a field trip and all your boys got Lunchables. Everybody's stacking their damn crackers and cheese as high as they can get them. Look at that. We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. One more cheese. Top that John up with a cracker. And then everybody, you want to see how much you can eat in one bite. Look at that. Look at that. You and your boys, seeing who's got the bigger mouth. Pause. Oh, I'm a choke. That would be the most embarrassing way to die. Choking to death on Lunchables alone in my apartment. Brutal. Wash it down with our knockoff Oreo. Amazing. I know I'm spending a lot of time on the turkey and cheese here. And that's because the spicy nachos are truly a game changer. Taking a classic, like such as the original Lunchable nachos, and just cranking it up to 10. As much fun as it was, your cheese and your circular meat, pause, and comparing with your boys, pause, and just seeing how much of it you can fit in your mouth, pause. The flavor doesn't compare to the nachos. And as an adult, I'm a big boy now. I'm a grown up. I don't wear Pampers anymore, Mom. I don't need your help wiping me, Mom. And I don't need unflavorful things, Mom. Mom, if you're watching this, hi. And for that reason, I think this is an easy dub for spicy nachos. Just so flavorful. Flavorful in a Lunchable way. Final battle of the Lunchable Bracket. Spicy nachos, pizza. Get into it. We got 1 pizza left. This is the fun part. Your sauce, edge to edge here. We're gonna take our time making this and really savor our last Lunchable pizza. Here's where you get greedy. You saved all your cheese. Now use all the rest of it all on this last one. Look at that. Throw your pepperoni on there. 3, the perfect amount. The best Lunchable pizza. Always save it for last. Let's dig into these nachos once again. They're really good. They're quite tasty, but can it stack up against the ultimate Lunchable pizza? Not a f***ing chance. Savoring that last pizza, waiting for it, having the self-control as a third grader to not put all the cheese on the first or second pizza, waiting until the last minute, the last pizza, to just shove it down your throat, pause, and just sprint to play touch football with your boys. Nothing better. There's whimsy, tiny pizza, hilarious. And it's just great. Lunchable pizza, of course you're gonna win this round. It's everybody's favorite. Thanks for watching.